Chapter 1 Husband from Heaven. You are listening at NovelFold.audio. You're already married, why are you still here to register? Don't you know about bigamy? Su Nange walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau in shock, holding the marriage certificate that the staff had just printed out. The man who accompanied her to register looked at the dazzlingly beautiful girl in front of him and said regretfully, "Miss Sue, you are already married, why did you pay me to have a fake marriage?" Then he left a message saying the deposit is non-refundable and left in a hurry. Su Nange pursed his lips and had not yet recovered. She has never even been in love, how could she be married? He lowered his head and looked at the printed document in his hand again. In the ID photo, the girl is a little reserved, her smile is forced, and there is a mole in the corner of her eye. It is indeed her. As for the man, he has thick facial features, a high bridge of nose, a faint smile on his thin lips, and his deep eyes stare at the camera, as sharp as if they want to penetrate the paper. Even black and white printed photos cannot hide his mysterious and powerful aura. Let's look at the name again, Huo Beiyan. She was sure she didn't know the other party at all. What exactly is going on? Su Nange took out his mobile phone to take a photo of the printed document, opened WeChat, found a black profile picture and sent it. Help me check who he is. The other party replied instantly, received. Su Nange suppressed his confusion and rode a dilapidated electric car, slowly driving into a luxury villa area and arriving at Sue's house. Today is a good day for my sister Sue. Her fiancé will come to hire someone. The house was decorated with lights, the servants were busy in an orderly manner, and a few temporary workers were hired. Su Nange parked the car in the corner, and behind him came the discussion of temporary workers and servants. Who is she? She is so beautiful. She is an illegitimate daughter who is not recognized by her husband. Her mother was a mistress. When my wife was about to give birth, she came to her home with a big belly and asked for an explanation. As a result, the two gave birth on the same day. That old woman is so shameless. She has been finding various reasons for staying at home for so many years. Miss Nan Gu knows what's appropriate. She moved out since junior high school and hasn't been back for many years. I don't know what happened today. Su Nange narrowed his eyes, pretended not to hear the conversation between several people, and entered the living room. Her mother, Li Wanru, was guarding the door. The charming woman saw her coming in and anxiously dragged her upstairs. Follow me to find your sister first. By the way, have you got your marriage certificate? Su Nange's voice was light and there was no hint of emotion or anger. Take it. Even though the groom has changed, it still counts as the bridegroom, right? That's good. You have to remember your identity. Huo Beiyan is your sister's fiancé. That kind of top wealthy family is beyond the reach of an illegitimate daughter like you. Only your sister is worthy of him. Hearing this, Su Nange's eyes flashed with sarcasm. Huo Beiyan is the eldest grandson of the Huo family, the largest family in Haicheng. He pursued her for 4 years in college, but proposed to Su on the day of graduation. After Li Wanru found out, she asked Su Nange to find someone to get married immediately, completely ending the relationship with Huo Beiyan. It's been like this since I was a kid. As long as she and Su have a slight conflict of interest, Li Wanru will ask her to give in unconditionally, because she is an illegitimate daughter. Her existence is original sin. I was brainwashed when I was a child. And I thought it was natural to endure these things. But now she has long since woken up. Su Nange looked solemn and said word by word, we agreed that this is the last time. The mistake was made by Li Wanru. She was the one who stayed in the Su family to see her father every day. She was also the one who wanted to please Su. Su Nange would not pay for her with his own life. This time I took the opportunity to repay her for giving birth and make a final break, Li Wanru said impatiently. I know. While talking, the two came to Su Yin's room. The pretty girl is wearing a gorgeous dress like a princess, sitting on the sofa choosing jewelry, and the room is filled with jewels. Su Nange was shabby, but his back was straight. Su saw her and said hello, Nange, why are you here? Before Su Nange could speak, Li Wanru said first, Nange got married today. Su was surprised, so fast. Who is this man? He is better than Brother Beiyan. Li Wanru sarcastically said, how is it possible? There is no one with more status than Master Huo in the entire Haicheng. She can find any good family, even a poor one, but she doesn't dare to bring her, for fear of looking poor. Dirty your eyes, Su Yin's voice was filled with jealousy, how could it be? Nan Gu is so beautiful, otherwise Brother Zichen wouldn't have chased her for 4 years. What's the use of being beautiful? With tattered shoes and socks, with her status, only a lowly Sanlin, who I don't know where, is willing to marry her. Master Huo just treats her as a toy and plays with her casually. Only your status, is worthy of her. I can get along with Master Huo. Su Nange frowned, the appearance and temperament of the man in the photo are incompatible with those of a shabby and promiscuous person, right? But she didn't bother to refute these innocuous words. At this time, Su Yin had chosen her jewelry. She wanted to put on high heels, but found that the dress was too tight and made it difficult to bend down. Su Yin smiled slightly and looked at Su Nange. Li Wanru immediately pushed Su Nange. It's useless, why are you still so indifferent? It's inconvenient for your sister, why don't you help her put on her shoes? Su Nange. That's it again, does Li Wanru really think that she is still the ignorant little girl who didn't know how to resist when she was bullied? Her eyebrows were cold and her voice contained impatience. You can help her put it on yourself. Su Nange, what's your attitude? Do you think your wings will become hard after you get married? Your husband is just a soft-boiled man. You have to rely on the Su family in the future. Li Wanru raised her voice. If you don't build a good relationship with your sister now, one day you and your husband will beg her. Besides, the Su family raised you, so you should work as a slave for the Su family. At this time, a majestic figure appeared at the door. It was his father Su Wenzong. The man frowned. A distinguished guest is coming soon. What are you arguing about here? Su Yin said nothing and pretended to be innocent. Li Wanru cried and cried. I am not this evil girl. After receiving the certificate today, I will not take me as a mother seriously. Su Wenzong's eyes fell on Su Nange and frowned. Married? Why don't you let your family introduce you to one? Where is the marriage certificate? Show me. Facing the concern of this strange father, Su Nange paused and took out the printed copy from his bag. The next second, she was snatched away by Li Wanru. Let me see what the name of your good-for-nothing husband is. Su Yin asked curiously. Dad, who is coming and makes you so nervous? Su Wenzong suddenly felt bright when he thought of that person, and he excitedly said a name. Huo Beiyan. Su Nange was stunned for a moment. Who? Chapter 2 Husband. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Su Yin was confused. Who is Huo Beiyan? Is he very powerful? Su Nange also listened curiously. She has some connections in Haicheng, but she has never heard of Huo Beiyan. Su Wenzong explained. It's normal that you don't know him. This man is very mysterious. Even I have never seen him. He is Huo Zichen's brother-in-law. He is only 28 years old and has become the real leader of the Huo family. Li Wanru subconsciously exclaimed. Then wouldn't he be more suitable for Yin than Huo Zichen? That the person in power is much better than the direct grandson of the eldest son. Su Wenzong said angrily. What nonsense are you talking about? Mr. Huo is already married. Su Nange narrowed his eyes. Married? If the person who issued the marriage certificate was really him, then it seemed that Huo Beiyan should know what was going on. Li Wanru was slightly disappointed. Who is his wife? She is even more blessed than Yin. Su Nange immediately looked directly at Su Wenzong, but heard him say, I don't know, it is said that he and his wife don't like to socialize. Su Wenzong frowned and thought deeply. I don't know why I came here unexpectedly today. The Huo family is the most wealthy family in Haicheng, and the person in charge has a noble status. The Su family's family background is only above average, and Su Yin is marrying Huo Zichen. It would be great if the person in charge can attend the wedding. How could he come in person on the day of the engagement? Li Wanru said flatly, it must be that Yin is so outstanding that she attracted the attention of the Huo family. Yin, this diamond necklace can't hold up the scene. With such an important elder coming today, it's better to find someone noble to wear it. She stuffed the unread printout back into Su Nan Singer's pocket, and anxiously pulled Su Yin to reselect jewelry. This look is more caring than Mrs. Su's own mother. Su Nange smiled mockingly. Sir, the Huo family is almost here. The butler's reminder made Su Wenzong turn around and go downstairs. When he passed by Su Nange, he said casually, "You haven't been home for a long time. Let's have a glass of wedding wine before leaving." Su Nange nodded. She wanted to stay and see who Huo Beiyan was. In the room, Li Wanru helped Su Yin choose jewelry and put it on for her personally. Looking at the bright girl in front of her, Li Wanru's eyes could not suppress the joy. More than 20 years ago, if Mrs. Su Nan Jingshu hadn't appeared, she would have been married to Su Wenzong. She hated Nan Jingshu, so she deliberately caused trouble to give birth on the same day as her, and exchanged the two children in the hospital. Now, her daughter will finally get married in a glorious way, and Nan Jingshu will prepare a generous dowry for her. But Su Nange could only marry a gangster pennilessly as an illegitimate daughter. Things are changing, Mrs. Su owes her this. Downstairs, Su Nange leaned lazily in the darkness next to the stairs, staring in the direction of the door, waiting for the Huo family to arrive. After an unknown amount of time, Mrs. Su walked downstairs with the help of a servant. She was wearing a purple cheongsam. She was slightly thin and had a bookish air about her, exuding a cool aura. The servant whispered, "Madam, you are not in good health, so it is best not to come down." Mrs. Su shook her head, "No. Ahem, such an important day for Yin. Ahem, I can't miss it." The two of them didn't notice Su Nange and walked towards the door. Su Nange looked at Mrs. Su's back with admiration in his eyes. It's funny to say that Mrs. Su, the person who should have the most right to hate her, is the only warmth she has in the Su family. Li Wanru is not like a mother at all. She often forgot to feed her when she was a child. When she was young, she was so skinny that when she first learned to walk, she would rummage through trash cans for food. After being met by Mrs. Su once, she would put some food for her in the garden regularly every day. This release lasted for 12 years. If it weren't for Mrs. Su's kindness, she would have died of hunger long ago. Seeing Mrs. Su walking away and hearing her coughing from time to time, Su Nange frowned worriedly. At this time, there was sudden movement at the door. It was the Huo family who was coming. Su Wenzong and Mrs. Su greeted them at the door. After a few words of greeting, they stepped aside and a group of people entered the door. Su Nange saw Huo Beiyan at a glance. He wore a well-tailored black haute couture suit and walked in the forefront like a star over the moon. The face was more three-dimensional than in the photo, with firm contours and a clearly visible jawline. The man's deep eyes could not be seen to the bottom at a glance. His thin lips showed a sense of coldness, and there was an aura of dignity in his movements. Perhaps sensing her scrutiny, the man suddenly looked over. For a moment, their eyes met. His sharp gaze made Su Nange's heart tremble. She wanted to spy on the emotions in his eyes, but the man withdrew his gaze and looked away. This made Su Nange a little confused. Does he know her or not? Su Wenzong smiled and complimented, "Mr. Huo, where is your wife? Didn't you come with us?" As soon as these words came out, Su Nange felt that Huo Beiyan glanced at her again, and then said calmly, "It's inconvenient for her." Several people were chatting and walking towards the living room. Huo Zichen, her old classmate who had been chasing her for 4 years, followed the elders. Wearing a suit, he was more mature and steady than when he was in college. He didn't see Su Nange and chatted absent-mindedly with Su Yin in a low voice. Everyone gathered around Huo Beiyan, who was sitting on the main seat, and began to discuss the marriage between the two. Only then did Su Nange come out of the shadows. She stood there quietly, watching the excitement in the living room. Someone suddenly grabbed her arm, and Li Wanru lowered her voice and scolded, "Su Nange, what are you still doing here? Haven't you given up on Huo Zichen yet? Tell you, he is your brother-in-law now." Su Nange broke away from her pull and sneered, "Don't worry, I'm not interested in being a mistress. It was Mr. Su who asked me to stay for a wedding drink." From the time she was sensible, she called Su Wenzong Mr. Su. Li Wanru gritted her teeth angrily. "Those are his kind words, do you take them seriously? I think you really don't know how much you weigh. On an occasion like today, even I can't go and embarrass the Su family. You are a private person. Are you a girl worthy of the banquet? Get out of here right now." It's really endless, so noisy. Su Nange frowned impatiently and was about to speak when he saw Huo Beiyan stand up from the corner of his eye. He pointed at the phone and then walked to the balcony, probably to answer the phone. Su Nange's eyes lit up. Okay, I'll go. After casually dealing with Li Wanru, she walked out of the living room door, but did not leave. She turned around and walked towards the balcony. The balcony on the first floor connects to the small garden outside. As soon as Su Nange approached, the man who was on the phone hung up the phone with a stern face and looked at her sharply. Su Nange paused, facing his dangerous gaze. She suddenly curled her lips and shouted tentatively, "Husband." Chapter 3 I am married. You are listening at NovelFold.audio. A glass door cuts off the bustle of the living room. Su Nange stared at Huo Beiyan, observing his reaction, but after hearing this title, the man became even colder. There was a deep chill in his dark eyes. Without any emotion, he turned around and wanted to go back to the living room. Su Nange quickly stepped forward and blocked his way. Huo Beiyan frowned slightly. Get out of the way. His voice was low and melodious, and his words had a noble charm, making people want to hear him say a few more words. Su Nange noticed something. You don't know me? Huo Beiyan looked at her condescendingly. Should I know you? From the moment he entered Su's house, he felt a strange gaze following him closely. That look was magnanimous, not as flattering and disgusting as the others. Huo Beiyan looked at her a few more times. The girl is very beautiful, with a fair complexion. Her peach blossom eyes and the moles on the corners of her eyes are bright but not charming. Although she is standing in the corner obediently, she still has a vague sense of unruliness, and after she was discovered by him, she didn't dodge and looked at him openly. I thought she was different from those women who jumped up to him when they saw him, but I didn't expect that she was bolder than those women. She called her husband when she came up. Huo Beiyan looked a little more impatient and said in a serious tone, Miss, I am married, please respect yourself. Su Nange was a little confused. This person obviously didn't know her, but he said he was married. Could it be that the Civil Affairs Bureau registered the wrong information? She asked, Who is your wife? Nothing to do with you. Another 4 cold words. Su Nange took out the copy of the marriage certificate and handed it to him. Mr. Huo, the man on this should be you, right? Huo Beiyan looked at the copy and his eyes fell on the woman's name. Su Nange, looking up again, he sarcastically said, Ms. Su, an original is not expensive, right? You should be more professional when it comes to forging. After saying that, Huo Beiyan did not go back to the living room, but strode from the small garden to the parking lot. Su Nange chased after her and wanted to speak clearly, but 2 bodyguards in black stopped her. Su Nange stood still and shouted to the man's back, Mr. Huo, this certificate is authentic. If you don't believe it, you can go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check. Huo Beiyan kept walking, got in the car and left straight away. His personal assistant stayed behind, returned to the living room, and met Su-in head-on. Su-in happened to see Su Nange pestering Huo Beiyan, but she didn't hear clearly what they were saying. Seeing Huo Beiyan leaving at this time, Su Nange also chased him on an electric car. She immediately asked, Why did Mr. Huo leave? Is there someone there? Did you hit him? The personal assistant smiled and said, Mr. Huo has something to deal with, so go ahead and ask Miss Su to tell the elders in the family. The boss didn't leave a message to teach the girl a lesson, he just didn't care. Su-in nodded immediately and sent the assistant away politely. After agreeing on a wedding date, the rest of the Huo family left after lunch. After sending the person away, Su Wenzong was worried. Why is Mr. Huo gone? Is there a lack of hospitality at home? Su-in thought of Huo Zichen's distracted look today, looking around as if he was looking for someone, and then thought of Su Nange's face that brought disaster to the country and the people, and she clenched her fists. Her eyes flashed. Dad, I saw Nangu pestering Mr. Huo. Mr. Huo left angrily and left a message. What words? Mr. Huo said that you should discipline your daughter well. Su-in bit her lip. If Nangu does this, will the Huo family think that our tutor is not good? Su Wenzong's face instantly turned pale. Su Nange was riding an electric bicycle and lost sight of him as soon as he left the villa area. When I was feeling upset, my cell phone rang. After answering, a male voice came from the opposite side. It was her subordinate Ji Ming. Boss, many people are wondering who Dr. Channon is these days. Su Nange raised his eyebrows. It's not exposed, right? That's necessary. After all, no one would have thought that Dr. Nan, who has overcome the problem of hydrogen oil fuel, is just a little girl who has just graduated from college and looks harmless. Is there anything else? Su Nange interrupted his chatter. Oh yes, Huo Beiyan's information was found. Explain. Huo Beiyan is the second son of the Huo family. It is said that he has a violent and cold-blooded personality, so he was sent abroad since he was a child. Everyone thought that the Huo family would be handed over to the eldest son, Huo Zichen's father, but no one expected that the Huo family would be handed over to the eldest son, Huo Zichen's father. Huo Beiyan suddenly returned to China last week and used some violent means to force the old man to abdicate and take control of the Huo group. Ji Ming asked curiously, didn't you find someone who is easy to control and fake your marriage today? Why did the groom suddenly become such a cold-faced king of hell? Boss, if your marriage is unstable, it will affect the company's listing. Su Nange frowned, check his contact information and itinerary, and I'll find him again. The reason why Li Wanru agreed to such a ridiculous request to get married immediately was because it would be more friendly to apply for listing if the legal person of the company was married. But now he is getting married inexplicably, and he still doesn't know what conspiracy is involved. Huo Beiyan's identity is not simple. The best way is to divorce as soon as possible to avoid unnecessary disputes. After hanging up the phone, Su Nange rubbed his eyebrows. Things are a bit troublesome. With Huo Beiyan's status and being escorted by bodyguards when traveling, it is not easy to see him. Today, I shouldn't have called out husband due to a lack of words and made someone angry. She sighed, started the little old car, and walked slowly home, leave the hustle and bustle of the city center and come to the suburban urban village. When I moved out of the Su family in junior high school, I didn't have much money, so I had to rent the old house here. Later I got used to it and never moved. Just as we were about to turn a corner and reach our home, an 80 or 90-year-old lady suddenly appeared on the side of the road. Su Nange braked quickly and almost hit him. She looked at the old man, thinking it was a scam, but she soon realized something was wrong. Although the old man is thin and short, he is well-dressed and looks like he is not an ordinary person. There is a sign hanging around her neck with a contact number written on it, and the last note is, if the old man is lost, please call the contact number and he will be thanked. And sure enough, it was Alzheimer's disease. I don't know whose old man is missing. Su Nange immediately took out his mobile phone and entered the number on the sign. The dull old man in front of her suddenly reacted. She grabbed Su Nange's wrist, her cloudy eyes brightened. My granddaughter-in-law. You are my grandson's daughter-in-law. Su Nange twitched the corner of his mouth. After being single for 22 years, why did she get another husband? Is the Civil Affairs Bureau doing wholesale today? She found it funny and asked casually, Grandma, who is your grandson? That the old lady frowned and thought, what is the grandson's name? Oh, yes, Huo Beiyan. Chapter 4 Granddaughter-in-law. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The old lady said, his name is Huo. What is Huo? The name I just remembered was forgotten the moment I said it. The old man was a little anxious, his mouth opened and closed, but he couldn't say those few words. Old man, don't worry, it's okay if you can't remember. Su Nange comforted him and dialed the phone. At this moment, on a street not far away, Huo Beiyan was sitting in the Bentley with a gloomy look on his face. His subordinate Yi didn't dare to breathe. It was my poor care that caused the old lady to get lost. The man said nothing, and the coldness emanating from his body frightened Yi. The old lady was in a daze most of the time. Who would have thought that she would suddenly get better today and sneak out of the door after getting everyone away? After calling the surveillance camera, they discovered that the old lady actually took the bus to the suburbs by herself. This area is relatively shabby, and many streets are not equipped with cameras, so you can only search for people on a blanket basis. Just then, the phone suddenly rang. Huo Beiyan answered immediately, and a faint female voice came from the opposite side. Hello, your old man is in my hands. The atmosphere in the car suddenly solidified, and the air became several degrees colder. Everyone took action immediately. Some were preparing to call the police, and Yi was also tracking the source of the call. Huo Beiyan's eyes were sharp and his voice was steady. How much do you want? Just a joke. The girl's voice sounded a little flat. I just want to tell you to take good care of the elderly in the future. Then, she reported her address and hung up the phone. Yi breathed a sigh of relief and patted his chest. This kind person is too naughty. Huo Beiyan raised his eyes slightly. Suddenly, I felt that the lazy voice on the phone seemed a bit familiar. 5 minutes later, they arrived at the old man's location, but the girl who called had disappeared. Only a policeman was waiting there with the old man. Huo Beiyan asked, "Grandma, why are you here?" That the old lady said mysteriously, "I'm looking for my grandson's wife, she lives nearby." Huo Beiyan paused slightly and sighed, "Grandma, I don't have any granddaughter-in-law." "Impossible. I saw her." The old lady complained. "She was a heartless person who handed me over to the police and left. By the way, give me your mobile phone." Huo Beiyan handed her the phone, and the old man wrote down the number of the caller in his address book in a small notebook. She finally has her granddaughter-in-law's contact information. Su Nange was afraid that when the elderly family members came to find her, they would thank her profusely. She's not good at handling situations like this, so when I saw the police patrolling, I simply handed the old man over to them and went home directly. Early the next morning, I received a call from my university tutor, Su Nange, "Come to school right away." Su Nange didn't know why, so he rushed over on an electric bike. As soon as he entered the office of his tutor, Professor Liang, he found that Su Yin and Li Wanru were also there. Su Nange narrowed his peach blossom eyes. She and Su Yin both attended Haicheng University, one of the best universities in the area. Su Yin passed the exam with excellent results. Because she had established a company, it was not convenient for remote management, and she could not surpass Su Yin's limelight. So she deliberately lowered her score and took the exam for the most unpopular major, energy and power. Unexpectedly, the concept of new energy suddenly became popular 2 years ago. Su Yin immediately transferred to another department and became classmates with her again. Su Yin is normal here, why is Li Wanru here? Just when I thought of this, I saw Professor Liang's serious face. "Nan Gu, your qualifications for postgraduate study have been cancelled." Su Nange was slightly stunned. "Why?" "Your mother said that you have bad conduct, a bad background, and do not meet the requirements for graduate school." Professor Liang frowned and said, "Is there any misunderstanding between you and your mother? Apologize to her quickly. You have a promising future. Don't delay your future because of temporary anger." When Su Yin heard this, she sighed. "Professor Liang, Nan Ji's mother also does her best." She looked at Su Nange. "You have offended Mr. Huo, and Mr. Huo said that he would make you disappear in Haicheng." Su Nange reacted for a while before he realized that Mr. Huo referred to Huo Beiyan, but she only said a few words to him, and he didn't seem angry before leaving yesterday. As for being so fussy with her, on the contrary, Su Yin is used to lying. While thinking, Su Yin walked up to her and said, "Nan Gu, this is the ticket your father bought for you. He asked you to go abroad to avoid the limelight. Otherwise, the Su family will not be able to protect you." A flash of ridicule flashed in Su Nange's eyes. To put it nicely, the Su family is just afraid that they will be in trouble if they want to avoid the limelight. She glanced at the destination on the ticket, Argentina. It is the country farthest from China. How afraid are you of her coming back again? She pushed the ticket back and said coldly, "No need." Seeing that she refused to accept it, Su Yin took out another bank card and said sincerely, "Are you worried that you won't be able to live abroad? There is 50,000 yuan here, which is my personal living expenses for you. This is all I have now. You can use the deposit first. If it is not enough, I will give it to you later as pocket money." The dignified eldest daughter of the Su family only has 50,000 yuan. Su Nange found it funny. Li Wanru snatched the bank card from Su Yin's hand. Yin, what are you doing?" The Su family has done their best to help her buy a plane ticket. She looked at Su Nange and ordered, "Pack your things and go abroad immediately. I have already gone through the withdrawal procedures for you." Su Nange looked at her. "Why do you help me make a decision? I'm your mother. Besides, with your academic performance, going to graduate school is just a waste of time. It's probably difficult to graduate. It's better to go out and work early to make money. Professor Liang immediately retorted, Mother Nange, you misunderstood. Su Nange's professional courses were very solid during her time at school. Before she finished speaking, she was directly interrupted by Li Wanru, Professor, you don't have to speak for her. Can I not understand what she looks like? Isn't it just because Yinyin wants to go to graduate school that she goes to graduate school? She doesn't urinate and take photos. See who you are. What qualifications do you have to compare with Yinyin? Her vulgar words made Professor Liang choke, but then he looked at Su Yin in surprise. You want to go to graduate school? I remember that you didn't have graduate school guarantee, and you didn't take the postgraduate examination. Su Yin smiled slightly and said humbly, well, I took the special move route. If the tutor values a particular student, private recruitment is allowed. The premise is that it is a well-known professor. Professor Liang understood and immediately asked, I wonder who the professor is who wants to recruit you. Su Yin, however, acted modestly, it's Dr. Nan. He successfully developed hydrogen oil clean fuel, applied for a patent, and was awarded the title of doctor. When Su Nange heard this, he looked at her in surprise. Who are you talking about? Chapter 5 Find out. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Dr. Nan. Why didn't she know that she wanted to recruit Su Yin? Professor Liang also exclaimed, you actually know Dr. Nan. Su Yin smiled slightly, it's fate. My mother sponsored Dr. Nan to go to school. So after Dr. Nan became successful in his studies, he came to my home and said that my mother was his savior. Over the years, he has been helping us. My company provides technical support and should not reject any of my requests. Su Nange raised his eyebrows. When I was a child in the Su family, I relied on Mrs. Su's care to grow up. Therefore, after gaining the ability, she contacted Mrs. Su in the name of Dr. Nan. In order to have a reason to repay Mrs. Su's nurturing grace, she made up a sponsored identity. Over the years, if the company under Mrs. Su's name had any technical problems, she would help for free. But since when did Su Yin respond to her requests? What an exaggeration. Professor Liang believed it. Which school is Dr. Nan currently working at? Su Yin replied, I promised the dean that I would invite Dr. Nan to teach in our school. Great! Professor Liang was overjoyed. He looked at Su Nange and said, Nange, your research direction is the same as Dr. Nan's. I will introduce you to him when the time comes. If Dr. Nan is willing to intercede for you, maybe you can still get a graduate degree. Has hope. Su Yin looked worried. Professor Liang, is this okay? The Huo family is the richest man in Haicheng, and they allocate a lot of research and development funds to our school every year. Professor Liang didn't take it seriously. Dr. Nan is very popular now. I heard that Heton University and Oxford University abroad have sent invitations to him. Many companies want to invest in him. If Dr. Nan is willing to come forward, the school will definitely choose Dr. Nan. Su Yin pretended to sigh, but Dr. Nan only cares about my mother. If it were me, he would definitely spare no effort to help, but Nan Gu is my father's illegitimate daughter and is on the opposite side to my mother. Nan Gu, or I can ask Dr. Nan for you. Su Nange, no need. Su Yin was like a clown at this moment. The corners of her lips curled up and she said directly to Professor Liang, Professor Liang, don't bother. You know, I don't want to go to graduate school. Professor Liang looked stunned, his face full of regret. It was he who discovered Su Nange's professional talent and became obsessed with it, so he forcefully asked her to keep her postgraduate studies. He didn't expect that things would come to this. His eyes were slightly red. Then I'll write you a job recommendation letter. Li Wanru pouted, don't waste your efforts. You have offended Mr. Hua and you still want to find a job in Haicheng? Are you dreaming? Professor Liang was furious. I don't believe there is someone who can cover the sky with one hand in Haicheng. If you really can't find a job, come and be my teaching assistant. I want you. A warm current surged into Su Nange's heart, and she explained, Professor, there is just a misunderstanding between Mr. Hua and I. Just clarify it. You don't have to worry. Professor Liang sighed, if you can clarify things, come back and be my student. Su Nange looked at the ardent expectations on the teacher's face and said in a soft voice, okay, come back. It would not be a bad idea to come to Haicheng University to be a tutor. Su Yin clenched her fingers tightly. She didn't understand why Professor Liang only valued Su Nange, who had mediocre grades, even though she was a top student. Could this old immortal be confused by her face? Su Yin was very angry. She glanced at Li Wanru and suddenly said, Nange, are you going to pester Mr. Huo again? He is already married. It's really not good for you to do this. Li Wanru was indeed furious. Snapped, loud slaps echoed in the office. Su Nange's cheeks were burning and he looked at Li Wanru in disbelief. He didn't expect that she would suddenly attack in front of Professor Liang. Li Wanru was not half-hearted, pointing at her nose and scolding, You bitch, I haven't seen you for a few years, I think you have forgotten the rules of the family. Apologize to your sister immediately. Promise never to see the Huo family again. The temperature in Su Nange's eyes slowly faded away, leaving only the coldness. It seemed that she didn't take it to heart at all when she said the last time that day. She still regarded herself as the ignorant girl who accepted everything and respected Su Yin. Since it doesn't make sense, don't blame her for being ruthless. Su Yin watched from the side, feeling proud in her heart. When she was a child, Su Nange would grovel in front of her and would not retaliate when she was scolded or hit. Later, she moved away and the two met again in college. Although Su Nange still looked poor, he straightened his back in front of her. It's been a few years since I've fought, and I've forgotten my dignity. Let Li Wanru give her a long memory today. As soon as Su Yin thought of this, she saw Su Nange slowly coming to her, probably ready to apologize. The corners of Su Yin's lips curled up, but the next moment, Su Nange suddenly raised his head, and his hands took turns to fall hard on Su Yin's face. Pa! Pa! Su Yin felt dizzy and was temporarily confused. Li Wanru roared and rushed over. Su Nange, how dare you! Su Nange suddenly turned his head. Her eyes were sinister, and she looked like a Shura who had climbed up from hell, exuding a bloodthirsty murderous aura. Li Wanru was frightened by her appearance and froze on the spot. You, what are you going to do? White-eyed wolf, I am your mother, do you still want to attack me? You unfilial beast. You are unkind to your mother, so don't blame me for being unfilial to your son. Su Nange's voice was cold and he said word by word, Stop dictating my life, otherwise whatever you do to me again, I will pay back to Su Yin twice as much. She looked away and bowed deeply to Professor Liang. Thank you for your care over the past 4 years. I will come back again. After leaving these words, she turned and left without hesitation. It wasn't until her figure disappeared into the room that Li Wanru came back to her senses. She hurriedly rushed to Su Yin. Yin, are you okay? That bitch dared to attack you. She turned against her. Su Yin touched her swollen cheek and was so angry that her whole body was shaking, but she calmly asked, Where does she get the confidence? Li Wanru was stunned. Did Mr. Huo really fall in love with her? It's impossible. She's already married. How could Mr. Huo like the broken branches and willows? Su Yin thinks so too, but thinking about her face that brought disaster to the country and the people, I suddenly felt a little uncertain. Professor Liang was stunned by this series of changes. He looked at Li Wanru in disbelief. Listening to her dirty words, he couldn't help but think, is this really Su Nange's mother? Not Su Yin's mother. I don't know if it was a psychological effect, but Professor Liang suddenly felt that the two women in front of him looked somewhat similar. As soon as Su Nange walked out of the school gate, Ji Ming called. Boss, check it out. I understand why Huo Beiyan claims to be married but doesn't recognize you anymore. New book, new atmosphere, I hope everyone will continue to support it. How many people have come and left a message? Chapter 6 Going to find my grandson's wife. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. People were coming and going at the school gate, and everyone's face was full of liveliness and freshness. Su Nange pushed the electric car, feeling lonely. She licked the slightly swollen corner of her mouth with the tip of her tongue, and said in a slightly hoarse voice, Say. The Huo family looks great, but such a big family has been fighting fiercely within the past few years. The old man favors the eldest family and wants to hand over the Huo family to the eldest son. As the youngest son, Huo Beiyan has been suppressed. A few years ago, the old man chose some unreliable people for Huo Beiyan to marry him. There was a big fuss at that time. It was not until Huo Beiyan said that he had obtained a marriage certificate with his wife from an ordinary family that the matter was stopped. It's interesting to mention his wife. She has never appeared in front of others, and she has never attended any family dinners of the Huo family. To sum up, there is only one truth. That is. Ji Ming made a long tone, trying to put it off, but before he could say anything, Su Nange suddenly realized, I understand. Have you found his itinerary and contact information? Ji Ming choked and said humbly, I will send you his schedule for the next few days later. His personal phone number cannot be found. Su Nange said calmly, it's okay, I'll block him. For a person with Huo Beiyan status, his personal phone number is the most confidential, so it's normal for him not to be able to find it. Ji Ming immediately gossiped, he is surrounded by bodyguards and it is not easy to get close to him. Are you prepared to use strong methods, or are you? Be low-key lately. Su Nange's lips curved into a sly smile, besides, I'm a woman and I can't be hard. Ji Ming. The Huo Group is located in the center of Haiqing City. It is a landmark building that reaches into the sky, which shows how terrifying the Huo family's financial resources are. Su Nange straightened out his courier uniform, walked in with a courier box in his arms, and said to the front desk, this is Mr. Huo's courier, and I need to sign for it in person. The front desk lady only allowed her to go upstairs after calling the secretarial office. Su Nange entered the exclusive elevator and reached the 88th floor of the top floor. Stepping out of the elevator, the view in front of you instantly broadens, an entire department of the secretary's office, with more than 100 people working here, only serves Huo Beiyan. Su Nange followed the secretary who came to pick her up and arrived at the president's office smoothly, after knocking on the door. A pleasant voice came from inside, come in. Su Nange breathed a sigh of relief. Just when she thought she was going to see Huo Beiyan smoothly, a tall and thin figure suddenly stopped her. Special Assistant Yi frowned and looked at her. Miss Su? Why is it you? Yesterday, this person harassed her boss at Su's house. The boss didn't care about her, but she actually kicked her nose in the face and came to harass her pretending to be a courier. Yi looked very unhappy and waved to the two bodyguards. What's going on? Can any cat or dog come to the top floor without checking her identity? Drive her out immediately. Su Nange's expression remained unchanged. What do you mean? Does the Huo Group look down on our couriers? Yi sneered. You really know how to knock someone down. We respect every job, but are you a courier? I am. Do you think I will believe your nonsense? If you are a courier, do you have a work permit? As soon as Yi finished speaking, a work permit was displayed in front of him. Su Nange smiled half-heartedly. It's true. Yi. His face froze, and he thought of something and sneered. You just registered today, right? The work permit in front of me was opened, with the registration date marked on it. Yi was stunned. 8 years ago? Is she really a courier? Isn't it okay to work and study? Su Nange said to the door with a lazy voice, Mr. Huo, can you cooperate with my work now? A steady voice came from the room. Let her come in. Su Nange glanced at Yi provocatively, seeing that he was about to explode, so he walked around him and entered. Huo Beiyan's office is in a simple and luxurious style. The black, white and gray tones make the place look devoid of warmth. He was sitting behind a large desk, with the sleeves of his black shirt rolled up, revealing a small, thin and strong forearm, and his bony fingers were holding a pen. After signing the documents in hand, Huo Beiyan looked up, his dark eyes showing no emotion. Su Nange pointed to the express delivery slip and said, Mr. Huo, sign here. The girl's fingers are white and slender, and the fingertips are slightly calloused, giving people a powerful beauty. Just like her, although she is thin, she always straightens her back and looks proud. Huo Beiyan's eyes lingered on the corners of her bruised lips for a moment, and he took a pen to sign. At this time, Su Nange suddenly spoke and said shockingly, Mr. Huo, in fact, you are not married at all, are you? The man paused with his pen tip and suddenly raised his head. His dark eyes were locked on her, and an invisible sense of oppression came over her. Su Nange knew that he had guessed correctly. When registering information at the Civil Affairs Bureau, you need to fill in personal information by hand, so there is no chance of making mistakes. Huo Beiyan claimed to be married again, but he didn't know her at all. After Ji Ming's investigation, the truth can only be that Huo Beiyan created a fictitious wife in order to cope with the pressure from his family to get married. He had never been to the Civil Affairs Bureau, so he didn't know that the two were married. Su Nange said seriously, "Mr. Huo, I know what I say sounds a little weird, but we are really married." Huo Beiyan slowly sat up straight, with a hint of playfulness on his face. "Miss Su, don't waste your time. Even if I'm unmarried, I can't marry you to disgust Huo Zichen." Su Nange was slightly stunned. Did he know her past with Huo Zichen and thought she was looking for him for revenge? "Is that why you never believe her?" Su Nange explained, "I'm not looking for you because of Huo Zichen, I want to divorce you. I'm not interested in your emotional entanglements." Huo Beiyan interrupted her, signed the signature, and handed the express bill to her. "Don't harass me again, otherwise don't blame me for being rude." Su Nange also got a little angry. "Aren't you already rude to me? You even told me to disappear in Haicheng." Huo Beiyan frowned. "When did I?" Before he finished speaking, his cell phone suddenly rang. It's Grandma's exclusive ringtone. He answered immediately, and a nurse's voice came from the other side. "Mr. Huo, the old lady is missing again." Huo Beiyan stood up suddenly and walked out anxiously. Su Nange wanted to chase after her and speak clearly, but was stopped by Yi. "Miss Su, I advise you to stop here." Su Nange sighed. She was invited out of the Huo group and went home slowly. As soon as she arrived at the door of her home, she suddenly turned around and saw the old man she met last time tiptoeing, with the dog following her furtively. Su Nange. Just as she was about to speak, the little old lady grabbed her wrist. "My granddaughter-in-law, don't even think about leaving me again." Chapter 7. Huo Beiyan gave too much. You are listening at NovelsShe. The house Su Nange rented was neatly and warmly decorated by her. She looked at the old lady who was sitting at the dining table and drank 3 glasses of water in a row, and said seriously, "I am really not your granddaughter-in-law." "You are." The little old lady was very stubborn, holding the water glass and drinking another glass. Su Nange knew that he couldn't explain it to her, so he took out his mobile phone and dialed the number from last time. It rang and was answered immediately. "Hello." Su Nange felt that the man's voice was vaguely familiar. Just as he was about to say something, his phone was suddenly snatched away by the old lady. At this time, Huo Beiyan was leading a group of people to search nearby. He looked calm and composed, but deep down he was a little anxious. Grandma not only has Alzheimer's disease, but also an 87-year-old man. All the organs in her body have begun to degenerate, and her life is in danger at any time. The moment his phone rang, he answered it immediately, and then heard his grandma's angry voice coming from inside. "You brat, don't come to pick me up. I'm with my granddaughter-in-law." Granddaughter-in-law, the phone number belongs to the girl last time, so grandma is with her again now? Huo Beiyan asked with a dark face. "Where are you?" "I won't tell you." "You think I can't find you if you don't tell me?" "You are not allowed to come to me, and you are not allowed to send people to check me." Huo Beiyan rubbed his eyebrows, covered the phone and asked the attending doctor in a low voice, "The old lady's condition, can she be brought back by force?" The doctor shook his head and replied in a low voice, "The old lady can't be stimulated now. It's best to follow her wishes. The girl didn't look like a bad person last time." Huo Beiyan tensed his chin and coaxed into the phone, "Grandma, I always have to give you medicine." "There's no need to send medicine, I'll take it with me, so don't worry and just wait for me to take my granddaughter-in-law home." After the little old lady said this, she hung up the phone directly. She returned the phone to Su Nange. "My granddaughter-in-law, it's done." Su Nange. What kind of unreliable relative is this? Just leave the old man to a stranger. She was about to call again when the WeChat notification sounded. Someone applied to add her as a friend through the phone number and left a message, "Old man and grandson." Su Nange applied through the other party's friend and entered the note, "Grandson." Grandson quickly sent a message, "Please take care of my grandma for a while." She has been in poor health recently and cannot be stimulated. Su Nange sneered and typed coldly on his mobile phone, "It's inconvenient, I'm not a charity here." Before I finished typing, I suddenly heard movement from the kitchen. She hurriedly walked over and saw the old lady boiling eggs. Su Nange asked casually, "Are you hungry? You can't just eat eggs." "No." The little old lady turned back with a kind smile on her wrinkled face. "My granddaughter-in-law, apply egg on your face to reduce swelling." Su Nange was stunned. Maybe she didn't even realize that after being beaten by her biological mother today, although she didn't seem to take it to heart, there was actually a layer of indifference surrounding her that separated her from the world. At this moment, the coldness on her body faded away from the old man's words, and there was warmth in her eyes. She pursed her lips and looked at the phone again. However, the chat interface suddenly turned orange. "You received a transfer message. And Sun Tzu transferred 300,000 yuan to you. Grandson, this is a week's living expenses. If it's not enough, don't tell me anymore." Su Nange looked at his input interface, deleted the words he just typed one by one, and re-edit the information. "Okay." She didn't understand why she was suddenly nosy. The other party must have given her too much. Su family, both sides of Su Yin's cheeks were swollen, and the slap marks were clearly visible. Her eyes were red and swollen, and she sat on the sofa in the living room and cried silently. Li Wanru lowered her head. "Een, that little bitch must be jealous that you want to marry into the Huo family. Don't cry. Wait until your father comes back and let Wenzong teach her a lesson." Mrs. Su Nanjingshu dragged the sick body downstairs. Her voice was weak but her tone was firm. "Ahem, Nangu is not that kind of person. You must have done something first to anger her." Su Yin clenched her fingers, lowered her head and said aggrievedly, "It's my fault. I shouldn't have agreed to Brother Zichen's proposal. She likes Brother Zichen so much. It must be because of this that she went to pester Mr. Huo." Mrs. Su's face was pale and sickly. How could it be? Nangu knew etiquette, justice, and shame very well when he was a child. "Otherwise, I wouldn't be stubborn enough to move out from home," Li Wanru said bitterly. "She must have been led astray by others in the past few years. She has a dark heart. Not only did she attack Yin today, she also beat me, her own mother." Mrs. Su still didn't believe it. Su Yin's eyes flashed, and she suddenly said, "Mom, it's because we have paid too little attention to her these years." These words awakened Li Wanru. "It's not because she didn't come home. Madam, you were so kind to her before, but she didn't come back to see you. What a white-eyed wolf. She doesn't remember your kindness at all. In her bones he's just a cold-blooded person." Mrs. Su was stunned. She has never been prejudiced against Su Nange. She raised her with her own hands and has feelings for her. When the child left, she said she would come back to see him more often when she had time, but after so many years, Nangu has indeed never returned home. When that child grows up, does he really become cool? Su Yin was satisfied when she saw her hesitation. She changed the subject and said coquettishly, "Mom, can you invite Dr. Nan to be a tutor at Haicheng University?" Mrs. Su immediately refused sternly. Yin, you can't repay a favor. Besides, Dr. Nan has done enough for his family's company over the years." Su Yin was not surprised by her words at all, and said with a smile, "Mom, that's not what I meant. Haicheng University is the best university here. Maybe Dr. Nan wants to go too. We can just help him connect with the school. It can be regarded as repaying Dr. Nan's help for so many years." Mrs. Su thought this was reasonable, so she took out her phone and opened WeChat. "Then I'll ask him." Su Yin sat next to Mrs. Su and blinked. "Dr. Nan has done so much for our family, and he has already repaid any kindness he had. Shouldn't the family hold a banquet to entertain us? Then you can ask him in person whether he will be more generous." "Okay." Dr. Nan responds to Mrs. Su's requests. As long as he comes and offers to be his graduate student, Dr. Nan will definitely not refuse. Mrs. Su was convinced, and she sent a message to Dr. Nan on WeChat. "Xiao Nan, do you have time to come and sit at home?" After Su Nange saw this news, his heart immediately lifted. Why did Mrs. Su suddenly ask for a meeting? Could it be that her health is not good? Thinking of Mrs. Su's cough, Su Nange stood up and walked out. If you have time, can I go over now? Chapter 8 He wants something from others. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Su Nange tensed his chin, feeling extremely anxious. She was about to go out when Mrs. Su's WeChat message came over. No need now, do you want to work overtime on Saturday? I'd like to treat you to a casual dinner. Only then did Su Nange realize that he was confused because he was concerned. Can we go to Su's house for dinner? A wry smile appeared on her lips. When she moved out from the Su family 10 years ago, she went back there on the first weekend. She entered the yard and saw Mrs. Su, Su Yin and Su Wenzong talking and laughing through the glass window. Mrs. Su had a bright smile on her face that she had never seen before. Li Wanru said, "Did you see it? Without you, they are a real family of 3. If you are really good for Mrs. Su, don't bother her again in the future." Su Nange finally left quietly. She only buys a small gift and puts it at the door on Mrs. Su's birthday every year. After so many years, it's time to meet again, right? Su Nange replied to the message, I should be the one to invite you. See you there at 6 o'clock on Saturday night. She sent a restaurant location. Going to Su's house will cause unnecessary quarrels, so why not make an appointment outside to talk quietly with Mrs. Su for a while, and also check Mrs. Su's body. Mrs. Su, okay, see you there or see you. Su Nange exited the chat box with Mrs. Su and found several messages from grandson. The older the old lady gets, the more she looks like a child. She has a short temper and needs to be patient. The old lady has trouble with insomnia and has difficulty falling asleep at night. 2 blue pills a day, once in the morning and evening, 0.5 reminders in a row. The last message is, The above is the medical advice forwarded by the family doctor. Sorry for the trouble. If grandma feels any discomfort, please contact me as soon as possible. Seeing this, Su Nange quietly walked into the second bedroom and took a short video for his grandson. 2 cars were parked quietly on the side of the street not far away. The nanny's car is fully functional and is a small suite. Huo Beiyan was wearing a black suit and was sitting on the sofa working on the computer. Mrs. Huo's family doctor was sitting in the corner, with a solemn expression on her face, ready for action. The old lady suddenly changed places. She will definitely not be able to sleep tonight. She is physically weak, and insomnia can lead to abnormal heartbeats, which could put her life in danger if she is not careful. The car behind carries instruments in case of emergency. The old lady lives nearby. If something happens, they can rush over to rescue her immediately. With that in mind, I heard Huo Beiyan's WeChat message ring. Huo Beiyan picked it up and looked at it, and then there was a hint of surprise on that ice face that had not changed for thousands of years. The family doctor immediately asked, did something happen to the old lady? Huo Beiyan pursed his lips and handed the video to him. I saw the old lady lying on the small floral sheets, sleeping soundly, and even snoring. It's only 9 o'clock in the evening. Normally, the old lady would be thankful if she could fall asleep before 1 o'clock in the morning. The family doctor's face was filled with astonishment. The old lady treats this girl very differently. If she can stay with the old lady all the time, the old lady's health will definitely improve. The old lady is old and frail, so sleep is a top priority. Huo Beiyan tightened his jaw and his eyes deepened. The next day, before Su Nange went out, he told the old man with a rosy face who had a good night's sleep, I called Ji Ming to accompany you, and he will be there soon. Okay. The little old lady nodded obediently. My granddaughter-in-law, what are you doing? Go meet someone. Who are you going to see? Do you have to see me? If he didn't go to Huo Beiyan, he would also know that the two were married when registering their marriage in the future, but the company was waiting to go public, and Su Nange was anxious to get divorced. The little old lady waved her hand. Then I will ask my grandson to help you date him. My grandson is very proud. Su Nange smiled. Grandma, I'm afraid your grandson can't do it. The Huo family is the richest man in Haicheng. No matter how well off the little old lady's family is, can she be better off than the Huo family? She rode an electric bike and came to Huo Group. Huo Beiyan's personal itinerary is actually very monotonous. This person has no leisure and entertainment. He is either at work or on the way to work. Su Nange walked to the front desk. Before he could speak, the front desk said, It's you again. Assistant Yi told me that Mr. Hua has no express delivery today and won't let you go upstairs. Su Nange said, I'm not delivering express, but... The receptionist interrupted her impatiently, do you have an appointment? You can't go upstairs without an appointment. Su Nange was about to say something when the front desk lady's eyes suddenly lit up. The impatient look on her face disappeared instantly, and she said earnestly behind her, Miss Su. You are here. Su Nange frowned and turned around to see Su Yin. Su Yin looked gentle and generous, and smiled at the front desk, I'm here to see Brother Zichen. She glanced at Su Nange and added, but I forgot to make an appointment in advance. Miss Su is joking, what is your identity? Where do you need to make an appointment? Mr. Xiaohuo must be very happy to see you. The receptionist took the card and opened the door for her, please come in. Su Yin looked at Su Nange, sighed and condemned, Nange, not just anyone can enter the Hua group. If you want to pester Mr. Hua, don't embarrass the front desk lady here. Su Nange. When did she give the front desk lady a hard time? The lady at the front desk frowned. Assistant Yi only said that the girl would not be allowed to go upstairs, but did not give a specific reason. Was it because of this? The lady at the front desk showed disdain and said with annoyance on her face, some people really don't know how much they weigh, and they want to fly up a branch and become a phoenix just because of their face. They don't even look where they are. Miss, please stay away and don't disturb my work, otherwise I'll call security. Su Nange raised his eyebrows and originally wanted to say something, but seeing the way she was serving food, he curled his lips and smiled, you don't let me go upstairs. Meanwhile, upstairs, after Huo Beiyan finished processing an urgent document, he took out his mobile phone and saw iron deficiency in the 5 elements pinned to the top. This is the girl's WeChat name, which is weird. He sent a message, hello, how is grandma today? The other party responded quickly, everything was fine when I went out. Huo Beiyan frowned, going out to work. The 5 elements are deficient in iron, that's right. Huo Beiyan looked unhappy. She actually left her grandma at home alone. But the other party was not the caregiver she hired, so there was no reason to go anywhere and just be responsible for taking care of grandma. Now he is asking for help. Huo Beiyan thought for a moment, where are you? I'm going to find you and have a word about grandma. The 5 elements are deficient in iron did not refuse and directly sent an address on WeChat. Huo Beiyan's eyes paused slightly after seeing it, isn't this the entrance of Hua Group? He got up and went downstairs. Chapter 9 Meeting. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The lady at the front desk personally escorted Su Yin into the elevator. While waiting for the elevator, Su Yin saw that Su Nange had not left, but was sitting on the sofa in the lobby of Hua Group, obviously not planning to leave. What a shameless person. Su Yin looked at the front desk. It's really not easy for you. I will tell Brother Zichen to give you a salary increase. There was a look of joy on the receptionist's face. Thank you, Miss Su. If you have any orders, just ask. Su Yin sighed, my sister is the most stubborn, don't let her wait until Mr. Hua. With these words, Su Yin entered the elevator. When the elevator door closed, she saw Su Nange walking towards the front desk. With a smile of success on her lips, Su Nange thought that he could get Mr. Hua's attention just by virtue of his face. How stupid. In the world of wealthy families, talk less about feelings and more about interests. Hua Zichen chased her for 4 years and liked her so much that he finally proposed to him. All this is because she has the bargaining chip to marry Hua Zichen. The elevator soon reached the 68th floor. When Su Yin entered the office, her face had returned to calmness and gentleness. Hua Zichen was wearing a suit and leather shoes. He had lost the youthfulness he had in school, and his eyebrows had a hint of sinisterness. His eyes fell on her face and he asked casually, what's wrong with your face? Su Yin lowered her eyes, I was beaten by Nan Gu. Instead, Hua Zichen warned with an unhappy expression, I told you not to provoke her. Su Yin paused, it's my fault. She walked to Hua Zichen and said, Brother Zichen, I heard that your new project is new energy. Hua Zichen looked at her seriously, yes, if the Hua Group cannot develop the latest technology, it will be surpassed in the future. Su Yin smiled and said, my mother and I made an appointment with Dr. Nan to have dinner together. When the time comes, I will ask Dr. Nan to join your RD team. Huo Zichen's expression softened a lot. Okay. His attitude changed. He put his arm around Su Yin's waist and brushed her cheek with his fingers. Nan Gu is indeed too ignorant. Does it still hurt? Let me blow it for you. Su Yin lowered her eyes and looked shy, but he was sneering in his heart. She has connections like Dr. Nan, how can Su Nange compete with her? As for who Huo Zichen loves, she doesn't care at all. She just wants to marry into the Huo family and become Huo Zichen's wife. In this way, even if her life experience cannot be concealed in the future, her wealth will be stable for the rest of her life. Downstairs lobby, Su Nange sent the address to grandson. The old man is now living in her house, and it is indeed necessary to clarify the responsibilities with the old man's family in advance to avoid any trouble later. Just as he was about to make an appointment to meet with the other party, something darkened in front of him. The receptionist stood in front of her with 2 security guards, and ordered arrogantly, "You can't sit here, it will affect my work, please leave immediately." Su Nange's face darkened. The sofa in the lobby is meant for people to sit on casually. Besides, she didn't say a word. How could it affect the work at the front desk? Su Nange leaned back and leaned there lazily. "You are so easily affected by your work, should you find a private room to work in?" The front desk lady choked and angrily said to the security guard, "Throw her out immediately." Just as the security guard was about to step forward, the noisy lobby suddenly became quiet. The CEO's exclusive elevator slowly opened, and Huo Beiyan, who had a calm aura, walked out low-key with Yi. The man in a suit only glanced here, then looked back, looking around, as if he was looking for someone. Yi noticed what was going on here and strode over. He frowned and looked at Su Nange. "Why is it you again?" The villain at the front desk complained first. "Assistant Yi, she said she wanted to go upstairs to deliver a courier to Mr. Huo. I didn't agree, so she stayed here and refused to leave." Su Nange said calmly, "I told you it's not a courier delivery." The front desk sneered. "Assistant Yi, did you hear that? She didn't even pretend to be pretentious anymore. She directly said she wanted to go upstairs to find someone. When she saw that I wouldn't let her go up, she started making trouble here. I'll ask the security to chase her away." "Walk." Su Nange looked lazy. "Which rule does Huo Group have that says I can't sit on this sofa?" The front desk was choked again. Yi impatiently said to Su Nange, "Then just sit here. The boss won't pay attention to you anyway." He looked at the front desk again and said displeasedly, "The important thing now is that the air conditioner on the top floor is broken." The repairman said he had arrived early, but the front desk stopped people from going upstairs. "What's going on?" The lady at the front desk was stunned. "I didn't see any repairman coming." Yi frowned. "Really not?" The front desk lady immediately nodded. "I've always been here, not to mention how dare you take things on the top floor lightly, how could you stop me?" Yi took out his mobile phone. "Then I'll call the other party to see if I went to the wrong place." Before the call was dialed, I heard a lazy voice, "You're right." Yi was stunned. Su Nange smiled. "It's true that the front desk didn't let me go upstairs." Yi. Front desk. Both of them were confused. After a while, Yi finally understood. "Are you the repairman? How is that possible?" A work permit was handed to him. The date above was actually 9 years ago. Yi was in disbelief. "Is this another job you found during your work-study program?" Su Nange did not deny it, and looked at Huo Beiyan, who was not far away. "You don't even let me say anything, you throw me out, and you even accuse me of making trouble here. Mr. Huo, your front desk is really impressive." The receptionist looked at Huo Beiyan in panic. "Mr. Huo, I..." Huo Beiyan had no expression on his face and said coldly, "You are fired." The receptionist's face instantly turned pale, but he didn't dare to ask for mercy. Huo Beiyan then looked at Su Nange seriously. Yi investigated the girl and moved out of the Su family in junior high school. Since then, she has been working to support herself. Yesterday he was a courier and today he is a repairman. How many jobs did he have? Living in such poverty, her back has always been straight. Such an unruly woman was willing to let herself down and come to pester him again and again. Thinking of this, Huo Beiyan's initial appreciation disappeared instantly, and he was filled with impatience. "Miss Su, are you satisfied?" Su Nange nodded and stood up. "Mr. Huo, have you gone to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check?" Huo Beiyan ignored her and said coldly to Yi, "Take her upstairs to work. Remember, don't let me see her again." Su Nange. Yi grabbed her arm. "Miss Su, let's go this way. I advise you to give up. Even if you try your best to enter the top floor openly, our boss will not give you a second glance." Although her identity as a courier and repairman are both real, she went specifically to the Huo group. Is she really here to work? Everyone knows it. Huo Beiyan stopped looking at her, took out his mobile phone, and made a voice call to 5 Elements Iron Deficiency on WeChat. At the same time, Su Nange's cell phone rang. Chapter 10. Have you gone to the Civil Affairs Bureau? You are listening at NovelsShe. When Su Nange's cell phone rang, Huo Beiyan was slightly startled. He turned to look at Su Nange. Is it her who is iron deficient in the 5 elements? Su Nange answered the phone. "Hello." Huo Beiyan's cell phone had no sound. When he looked at it, he realized that the other party was on a call and the voice call was not connected at all. He is overthinking. At this time, there were several people on the phone in the lobby, and it was impossible to tell which one was her. At this time, 5 Elements Iron Deficiency sent a message. "Sorry, it's not convenient to meet now. Let's make another appointment." Top floor, Su Nange took a call from Jiming and sent a message to his grandson. Jiming gloated. "Boss, can you do it? You haven't done maintenance work for many years, right?" Su Nange said coolly. "If you are very free, help me check Huo Beiyan's personal phone number so that I don't have to look for him again and again." If she had a phone, she could call him every hour and remind him to check with the Civil Affairs Bureau. Under the bombardment, even if he didn't believe this ridiculous thing, he would always check it out. Ji Ming immediately shouted, "How is it possible to find out? You don't know, there is no information about him on the internet. I have put a lot of effort into finding out his personal itinerary. That's useless." Su Nange hung up the phone and saw Yi showing disdain next to him. "Ms. Su, our boss's private phone number is confidential and ordinary people cannot get it." Su Nange deliberately teased him. "Do you believe that in the future I will not only have your boss's phone number, but also his WeChat? The divorce procedure is a bit troublesome. I will definitely contact Huo Beiyan more in the future." Yi sneered. "What a daydream." As soon as he finished speaking, Su Nange's cell phone rang, and grandson sent a WeChat message. "Call me anytime if it's convenient." 10 minutes later, Su Nange repaired the air conditioner. She clapped her hands. "The filter has been used for too long and has accumulated dirt, which affects the cooling function. Just clean it and replace it." Yi became less hostile towards her when he saw that she had moved swiftly and solved the problem so quickly. To prevent her from going to the boss again, Yi personally sent her downstairs. When he arrived at the door, he said meaningfully, "Ms. Su, there will be no more autographed express delivery on our top floor, and no electrical appliances will be damaged." Su Nange heard the meaning of his words and just smiled. "Well, see you at noon." She turned and left. Yi. He didn't take these words to heart and returned to the top floor. At noon, there was a dinner party at Huo Beiyan. He doesn't like to socialize, but since he has returned to China, he still has to respect China's drinking culture. There are not many such occasions. Yi accompanied the whole process. They came to a private restaurant. Looking at the uniformly dressed waiters, Yi suddenly became more vigilant. Isn't it the restaurant waiter who has the most work-study options for students? He looked around and looked at almost every waiter. He was relieved when he found that Su Nange was not there, but he soon felt that his behavior was funny. Su Nange is already a courier and maintenance worker, how can he still work other jobs? Her words of "see you at noon" really caused everyone to panic. Yi relaxed into the private room. When the food was served, the chef came over to thank him. "Hello everyone, are you satisfied with today's food?" A familiar female voice sounded, and Yi stiffened. He turned his head suddenly as if he had seen a ghost, and saw Su Nange standing at the door wearing a chef's hat. With a light smile on her face, she briefly introduced today's cuisine, and finally walked to Huo Beiyan and lowered her head. He spoke loudly, "Mr. Huo, go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check. Huo Beiyan. He tensed his jaw, and his usually calm face now had traces of chaps. Yi looked at her in shock. Are you a chef? The kind with a certificate? Right. Su Nange reached into his pocket and wanted to take out his chef certificate, but accidentally fell out 1, 2, 3, a total of 5 different work certificates. Yi swallowed. You have 5 part-time jobs. Su Nange, no. Yi just breathed a sigh of relief when he heard her say lightly. There are still some I didn't bring with me. Yi. Su Nange looked at Huo Beiyan with a smile. I can do whatever Mr. Huo needs. I guess Mr. Huo doesn't want me to continue to pester you, right? Why not go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to check? Huo Beiyan had a sullen face. The woman's peach blossom eyes were like water and mist, and she always seemed to be a little affectionate when she spoke, which attracted the rest of the people at the table to look at her. Huo Beiyan's face turned gloomy for a moment. He still ignored Su Nange and only looked at Yi. Go and check. Su Nange felt happy. Was this man finally convinced by himself? But then I heard him say coldly, who leaked my itinerary? Yi took a step forward and stopped in front of Su Nange again. Miss Su, please leave immediately. Su Nange was kicked out of the private room again and stood outside with a sigh. Why can't Huo Beiyan trust her? No matter how patient she was getting a little annoyed at the moment. She didn't leave, she simply waited outside. When had she received such neglect 2 years ago? The more I think about it, the angrier I get. Su Nange took out his mobile phone and wanted to find someone to complain about, but after looking through WeChat, he found that there was no suitable person, so he simply sent a message to Moments. In the private room, while everyone was eating, they complimented Huo Beiyan. He was a little impatient, and took out his cell phone and pretended to be busy with something. Bored. I clicked on the WeChat Moments and saw a post posted by 5 Elements. Iron deficiency 2 minutes ago. Don't be angry, always be patient with your grandson. Huo Beiyan was slightly startled. He immediately sent a message to 5 Elements. Iron deficiency. Are you noble? They all have grandchildren. You can't let an old man take care of your grandma. Iron deficiency in the 5 Elements. The 5 Elements are iron deficient. You talk about my circle of friends, that's insulting. There is one person who always doesn't understand me. Huo Beiyan. Only then did he realize that he had made a joke, so he sent a message to cover up his embarrassment. The brain is a daily necessities, he may use it as a decoration. Iron deficiency in the 5 Elements. I will scold you a few more times. Huo Beiyan curled his lips. We only scold people, so don't scold him. Iron deficiency in the 5 Elements. Looking at how good you are at talking, I want to give Lafayette extra food tonight. Does she have any taboos? Huo Beiyan, the doctor said to eat less sweet and spicy food, and feel free to eat the rest. Iron deficiency in the 5 Elements. Okay. When the two chatted, Huo Beiyan always felt like talking to an old friend, which was very comfortable. He suddenly asked, can I go visit Grandma tonight? 5 Elements. Iron deficiency. Of course, you are always welcome. Then, she sent a specific address with a house number.